Never before have we as a society experienced so much external stimulation. No matter where you go, there is so much to see, so much to hear, and so much to taste. Especially now with our smartphones and our social media, there's hardly a dull moment, constantly scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Always something new, always something exciting, always something there to captivate our attention. The thing about our senses is, our senses will not simply become satisfied because we give them more and more. Sage Vyasa says it perfectly when he says, the senses will only go sharper the more and more experiences that we feed it. You cannot simply play all the computer games that you want and satisfy your desire to do so. By simply watching your favorite TV show as much as you want is not going to satisfy your desire to watch it more. No matter how much junk food that you eat as much as you want, that will not satisfy your desire to eat more. The thing with our senses is, the more we feed it, the more they desire and crave, and the more intense stimulation they need to become satisfied. The problem here is that we get stuck in the cycle of desire, chasing that contentment and satisfaction which comes after. Taken to an extreme level, this can lead to addiction, and we all know that is never a good place for the health of our body and our mind. We cannot find contentment by simply chasing more and more experiences, because the senses are never satisfied. No matter how much we give them, no matter how much stimulation they receive, they will never become satisfied. They will be quiet and satisfied for a time, but after a little while, they desire those same experiences again and again. Now, we do experience periods of contentment. We watch some TVs for a while and we feel good. We eat some food for a while, we feel good. We play some video games, we do some scrolling, we listen to music, and we get a certain sense of contentment and satisfaction that comes afterwards. According to yoga, this contentment comes because the senses grow quiet. The senses become tired and fatigued, and they become quiet. And in this quietness, we find contentment. Contentment lies not in the chase, not in the stimulation, but in the quietness that comes after. Let me give you an example. And I'm sure the majority of us have experienced this on some level or another. Now, remember a time in your life where you were very, very, very hungry, like really hungry, hadn't eaten for a long time, and you finally get to sit down and eat a good meal. Just thinking about the food kind of makes your mouth water and get excited. You can hardly wait to take that first bite, and then when you do, that first bite is absolutely phenomenal. Like almost anything could taste good at that point. And then you keep eating, and you're not so hungry anymore. That desire to eat is slowly subsiding after 5 or 10 minutes. The food doesn't taste quite so exciting and flavorful. And now the taste of the food hasn't changed, but what has changed is your sense of taste. The sense of taste is now becoming quiet and content and satisfied. And this is one example of the cycle that our senses go through: the desire, the stimulation, and then the contentment and satisfaction that follows after. Now, yoga says, well, if we know that contentment lies in the quietness of the senses, why don't we just skip over that whole cycle and the whole drama of feeding the senses and this never-ending cycle that, if taken to the extreme, is actually detrimental to us? Why don't we just learn how to quiet our senses? And in that quietness, we will find contentment. Because isn't that really what we're after? In this whole chasing of experiences, we're looking for that feeling that comes after. Pratyahara, the fifth limb of yoga, is a practice of sense withdrawal, where we quiet the eyes, we quiet the ears, we quiet the mouth, the sense of touch, as well as the sense of smell, and we turn our attention inwards. Krishnamacharya says the practice of Pratyahara and non-attachment is essential for our well-being, not just our mental body, but as well as our physical body. Well, the most amazing thing, and something that most of us don't realize, is that contentment that we seek and that we're looking for and longing for can be found by quieting the senses through the practice of Pratyahara. Now, there's nothing wrong with experiencing life. That is a huge part of our human existence, is to experience. But we also need to keep that in balance. And we do need to take time to quiet our senses, to turn inward and find that contentment. Now, if you're new to this practice, it can seem a little bit like, I don't want to lose that experience. I enjoy these experiences. I enjoy all the sights and the sounds and the tastes and all of it. I'm here for it. I don't want to quiet my senses. But we have to think of it not so much as a loss. Think of it as gaining, going directly to the source and gaining what we're really after, which is the contentment and the satisfaction. And I promise you that if you try this and you experience it, you will realize how beautiful this practice really is. And I have put together a short yoga practice of Pratyahara, which you can follow along. I'll link it below. It's a really easy practice which you can take just a few minutes of your day to quiet the senses, turn inward, and find that balance and stability, that contentment, that satisfaction that we all so deeply desire. I love you all, and I hope that you find time to practice Pratyahara either in your yoga practices or even just moments throughout your day. It's not difficult, maybe a little bit strange when you're first starting out, but it is such a beautiful way to practice yoga.